Hey guys, welcome back to our video series, How Do I? My name is Clayton Bell and I'm the lead pastor of Trinity New Life Church. And so in this video series, what we're doing is answering questions that people have asked that have started with the phrase, how do I? Did you know that almost every internet search, Google, YouTube, do people still Bing? Do they ever really Bing? Starts with the phrase, how do I? I've asked that question many times into a search engine, usually related to some plumbing or electrical question, but that's not quite the one we're going to get today. You might be here because you asked, how do I? And it brought you to this video. Or you might be watching because you've subscribed to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for that. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do so, hit the bell, and you can get notified when our next video comes out. So here's our how do I question for today. How do I learn to become more generous with my time, talent, and treasure? How do I learn to become more generous with my time, talent, and treasure? I think that's a great question because I think we have a desire for it, but we're not always sure what to do. And I think we see people who are generous, see people who are using their time, see people who are using their talent at the peak of their experience, and or maybe even we think it's like, man, that's because they have all the money, or because, man, they're getting to do exactly what they love, exactly the way that they love to do it. How do I get from here to there? Because I can't imagine myself doing that thing. The reality is, it's just going to take small steps. That's kind of my answer for this, is don't try to make one giant leap from where you are to there directly. Start small, start faithful, and see how God's going to continue to open doors. Let's give you a few practical ways to be able to do that. Again, overall idea, start small. If you've ever done this with a diet, if you try to make a big crash change, you're like, I'm going keto. You keep all those carbs away from me, or whatever it is, that has a real impact on you for a short period of time. But it's generally not going to be the long-term behavior and pattern that you're going to get into. So I think it's better to start and make small accumulated changes that are more likely to be long-term sustainable than to do something big, quick, smash and grab and big change, but then you kind of regress back to it as things go along. So start small and make it something you can sustain for a long time. I had a friend who was very encouraging to other people, and it just annoyed me so much because that's not my natural tendency. So rather than say, I'll never be like that, I just I literally put it on my to-do list to be encouraging, to make sure that at least once a week I was reaching out to somebody, I was giving them encouragement. Does that mean it's not natural? Does that mean because it didn't just come to me from above that somehow it's not real? No. For me, my personality, if it's important, if it actually makes a to-do list, boy, that shows how important and how necessary it is. So I started writing things down. I wanted to put it on a to-do list. It was so important to me that I didn't want to forget to do that. Same thing with your finances. Let's say you're like, how do I have a better use of my treasure? How do my finances? Well, write down some financial goals. And maybe you're going to write down, give $1 million, live off of 50%, give 50% away. Sure, maybe that's some long-term goals, but how are you going to get there? Hope and wish are not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing is not a plan. If you're not giving anything, start giving something. If you're giving something, try to be consistent with that. Move from inconsistency to consistency. If you're consistent, look for opportunities to either increase that consistency to a higher percentage of income, or look for opportunities to be non-regularly generous, whether that's a special offering or you just want to give somebody a gift, and start setting goals for that. Let's say you're not giving any percentage of your income to God or to the church. Well, set a goal of, I'm going to give 5%. I'm going to give 3%. Set a goal and say, but in 6 months, I'm going to believe to up that to 1% more, whatever it would be. Set small attainable goals that have a timeline on them, something you can actually review. And the biggest thing is, don't look for everything that you're going to give to, every way that you're going to serve, every use of your time. Don't look for it to always be the most perfect, best fit ever before you actually decide to do it. Sometimes it's about the small faithfulness in the things that seem insignificant that actually will open the doors for the very place that you're going to feel the most fruitful and the most effective, the most aligned with who God's created you to be. I will tell you now, having been in ministry for over 20 years, those seasons kind of come and go, those responsibilities kind of come and go. And so I want to make sure that I'm being faithful in always using my gifts and then allowing my circumstances to come around to see whether they become the greatest alignment of them. But I don't want to wait for alignment before I'm faithful with who God's created me to be and what He's given me to be able to use. So start small, don't wait, be faithful with what you have a dream, but then have a plan to start actually moving forward and see how God may use you to do more than you actually could ask or imagine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. Again, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. You can subscribe to it, hit the bell, not me, even though that's my last name. Make sure you like this video. Leave a comment below if you have a how do I question. We'd love to use that in a future video, but we just need you to be able to share that with us. So thank you guys so much.